What's up, you guys? So today I'm actually going to be talking to you guys about what are the 7 most requested, or maybe not 7, but the lessons that are most requested by students on Preply, or even like when I was working on italki, the type of lessons that students were in dire need of. So without wasting any more of your time, let us get right into it. So guys, I actually want to start off by saying, there are so many kinds of students that you will probably get along the way. But just in my literally almost 11 months of teaching on Preply, these are just the kind of struggles or kind of hurdles that I've heard from students, and just the kind of topics that they could be struggling with, the kind of grammar problems that they could be struggling with. And I think it will be beneficial if you're actually starting on Preply, for you to maybe have these lessons prepared. And I also want to show you just a few sites where you could get a whole lot of information on the specific topics that I'll be talking about. If you have not seen the video where I speak about just some of the links or some of the websites that I think you should check out, I will definitely include it here in the cards, or if it's not here in the cards, you can just check it down below in the description. I do recommend that you check out that video for you to see what are the best ways that you could actually maximize your lessons. So the first thing really is tenses. Tenses will forever be like that lesson that students really get confused by, especially when it comes to perfect tenses. So how to use the perfect, present perfect, the past perfect, the future perfect, the future perfect, especially the present perfect. For example, present perfect is used if you want to indicate something that started a long time ago, but it is still effective today. So I have been living in South Africa since I was young, or for 3 years, or since 3 years ago. So those are just the kind of structures that you would use in a present perfect sentence. But then it would be have been plus your past participle, then whatever the ending is. If you can just look on the screen, you will see this is a site that I think will explain very well how to use the present perfect well. So it can be the Wall Street. I use this Wall Street article. So a lot of students, they honestly do struggle with even how to speak in the present tense, in the past tense, especially the continuous. So when to use the continuous, the past continuous, the present continuous. So if you could just refer to these sites, I think they will be helpful for you. Another thing that students really do tend to take a long time to grasp is how to use prepositions correctly. So prepositions such as in, on, and at can be used either as prepositions of time, or they could be used as prepositions of place. I think it is very important that you really focus on this specific lesson, because most students, they tend to struggle with this as well. They don't know when to use at in terms of time. So at 3 o'clock, because there are very different ways. I can't say at Saturday, but on Saturday, because then it is on a specific day. But when we're speaking about a specific time, we use at. But you find that in some circumstances, for instance, with time, we say on Monday or in the evening, and they'll ask, why don't we use at the evening? You know what I'm saying? So this site actually explains it pretty well, how to use prepositions of time correctly, and also how to use prepositions of place correctly. And then the next lesson that I think is like very important for you to probably focus on is passive and active voice. A lot of students as well have asked me to really focus on how to speak in the passive voice, how to change an active sentence into a passive voice. So for instance, that would be the boys are building the roof, right? So the roof was being built by the boys. That is a passive sentence. So it kind of sounds like reported speech in a way, but it's normally speaking in the past. So, and also where your object becomes the subject. So I do believe that this is also one lesson that you should focus on, and these are the sites that I normally use to practice passive and active voice. And also there's this conversational site that I use, which has a whole list of questions that can actually assist the student to practice speaking in the passive voice and also changing active sentences into passive sentences. I hope this helps. The other lesson, it is actually conversational lessons. So a lot of students sometimes do not want to focus on grammar specifically because they've done that long ago in school and they remember most of the rules, but they do believe that just speaking continuously will assist them, which I also believe. When they speak consistently, then they will get to hear their own mistake or remember their own mistakes, or remember what it is that touch up on what it is that they might have forgotten or something like that. So the sites that I use for conversations are Engoo, and this is a site that I use mostly, but also I use the Preply space itself because it has a whole lot of topics, conversational topics that you and your students can focus on and just dissect the topic and just hear what they have to say with regards to the topic that's at hand. The other site that I use is Breaking News, which just speaks about really recent, also Engoo, but Breaking News just has synonyms. It focuses on like synonyms, it focuses on antonyms, so it kind of challenges the students to think outside of the box in terms of should they be stuck, what is a synonym of this word, and how could you break it down so that the person that you're speaking to actually ends up understanding you. So you can just go through this entire page and just see that there are a whole lot of exercises that students can do on their own, or you could actually do it with the students, such as filling in the gaps and the like. But also on Engoo, what I like is that they also focus on vocabulary, so they will have the vocabulary and the definition and just example sentences, and then the topic itself, but also questions that are related to the topic and probably even how it also relates to your student's life. There are a whole lot of conversational sites that you can use. This site was actually recommended to me by a student, and I think it is a beautiful site to also use if you are an ESL teacher or tutor, or you are an English teacher here online, and that is that ESL tutor link. I will just link it down below as well. And this has a whole lot of topics, and when you click into a topic, for instance this topic, you can literally just have all those questions, like a whole list of questions that you can go through with your students, which helps them to actually speak more, think outside of the box, hear themselves more, and you also focus on what they're saying, and should there be any mistakes that they say or do, you can assist them. So I think that these sites are just really cool sites that you guys can use to really push conversation in your lessons. A trick that I also do, should I run out of topics with students, especially if you're going to get students that really keep their answers fairly short, is to build on top of their questions, or build on top of their answers rather, even though you probably know what it is that they're saying, or what it is that they mean, but for them to be able to explain it to you, you know what I'm saying? Because then that actually boosts them to, like, prompts them rather to talk more and to find new ways to make someone that they speak into understand whatever it is that they want to communicate. I'm not sure if I'm forgetting anything really, but if I am forgetting anything, guys, I will still link it down below so that you can check it out. But I think for today we are done, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much to everybody that is subscribing, commenting, liking and sharing. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, until the next video, God bless.